Hi dear friends, hi dear colleagues, my greetings from Abant İzzet Baysal University, and this is my video presentation for International Conference, Theoretical and Practical Aspect of Distance Learning, Effective Development of Teaching Skills in the Area of ICT and E-Learning, in Cieszyn, University of Silesia in Katowice, Poland. And my presentation, the topic of my presentation, which was conducted in the context of International Research Network for Study and Development of New Tools and Methods for Advanced Pedagogical Science in the field of ICT instruments, e-learning and intercultural competences, goes under the title Designing the Syllabus of the Course Internet Technologies in Translation with their reference to their translation competences and challenges of their market. So the study is aimed to bring to the discussion the problems of designing the content and the syllabus of the course Internet Technologies in Translation. Why we are speaking about this problem? First of all, we are witnessing today the huge discrepancy between the content of training translators and real market demands. That's one thing. Another thing, that the market of translation services is hugely affected by the process of globalization. And it doesn't matter where the translator is located physically, he may provide services to very different places and to very different areas of the world. So in this context, technologies in a huge use, in a huge demand to facilitate the job of professional translators. Within this study, the research questions are: what are the key competences of professional translators nowadays? What are the market demands to translators to perform effectively applying ICT tools? What are the milestones in developing technologies for the purposes of professional translation? How is the digital competence of pre-service translators developed in the context of formal education? What are the key issues which should be taught, discussed and acquired within the course Internet Technologies in Translation in order to prepare pre-service translators for the market demands? And the last one, the sixth question: what methods of teaching should be applied in the course Internet Technologies in Translation to develop required digital competence? So, to start speaking about key competences of translators, we should start with the definition of what translation is. So, nowadays, of course, there are very many theories, very many approaches, but we'll take only one definition for here. Translation is a complex activity which involves knowledge of many fields. No matter what type of translation belongs to, there are two phases: comprehension and presentation. So, based on this definition and keeping this in mind, the importance of these two phases, comprehension and presentation, together with the knowledge in very many fields and other skills which are very much required, we may come up with a model of key competences of translators. First of all, competence in business, how to provide services. Second, of course, languages, in pair of languages of translation. Competences in text linguistics and social linguistics, intercultural competence. Technological competences, documentation for information mining, subject matter competence or thematic competence. And all these together, they are comprising key competences of professional translator. According to the employees of the market, what is the main demand? The main demand for translators is speed and quality. And to provide speed and quality, tools are becoming in very much in need. So the professional translators are reporting on 5 purposes to use technologies in their job. First of all, word processing tools to type translation. Second, internet to seek information. Social media to remain up to date on both global events and progress in the translation world. Technologies to communicate and exchange information with clients and colleagues. And of course, specific translation technologies. Well, speaking about technology, speaking about the advances, technological advances in the area of translation and how to use them nowadays and what to teach our students, we should maybe have a look at the milestones in the development of technologies for the purposes of translation. And it doesn't go aside or separately from the technological advances as a whole. So first of all, it is 1940s machine translation, the development of machine translation tools. Then introduction of desktop computers in 1980s. Further, it brought to the development of computer-assisted translation tools. Another step, localization of software. Then availability of internet allowed internationalization of products, of advertisements, of software, networking and hypertexting, and of course developing translation databases and other internet-based technologies. So the main changes in the context of professional translators are within the translator-client communication, application of translation memories, and the development of hypertextuality, or so-called text without borders. And referring to these areas and to these spheres, we may highlight main clusters of technologies in the work of professional translator. First of all, machine translators which are functioning online or offline. Network engine search, databases, email, social media, ICT tools for video and audio communication, electronic dictionaries and encyclopedias, and content management system for managing translation projects. So what we are doing and what we are having in the context of formal education. Of course, universities are trying to be in pace of all these developments and are trying to meet the demands of their requirement. At the same time, according to the academicians, according to the students' responses, still we are experiencing very many problems. First of all, the scarcity of the computer equipment which would meet the requirements or which would be in pace of the technological developments. Second, unavailability of ICT tools for practicing due to their high costs. Lack of the required digital competences among instructors, unfortunately, and their inability to teach recent trends in the area of translation technologies. Scarcity of the course hours for developing digital competences among students till the required level, and rather theorizing than real practicing. So now we are coming to our last main questions of this presentation. What are the key issues to be taught, discussed and acquired within the course Internet Technologies in Translation in order to train pre-service translators for the market demands? Well, due to the rapid developments in the market of ICT tools in the area of translation and professional translator services, the course which is provided in the context of formal education should be in fact not targeted on the skills of operating specific tools, but develop students' abilities, first of all, to learn and to translate by locating and processing online resources. Second, to evaluate the suitability of ICT tools in relation to professional needs and prices. To work with peers on the solution of learning problems. And, of course, to be able to evaluate critically the translation process with the application of ICT tools. Well, the content of the course can be presented in the scope of very many problems to provide students with the idea of those issues which are existing in the area of technologies and professional translation. And these problems vary from the idea of professional competence, digital competences, and coming up to more applicable or applied skills such as computer basics, localization tools, machine-based translation, ICT tools for processing different types of texts, translation memories, and also dealing with the other internet-located tools such as electronic opera, terminology mining tools, terminology management, tools for managing translation projects, how to a website localization can be managed and organized, what software is used, how to localize advertisement, how freelancing is conducted in translation, what ICT tools are used for professional communication, and of course social media. Now to the last question, methods of teaching. For this level of the education, it is sure that students are already having their own experience of using technologies. They are having their own ideas and minds about technologies in the area of translation. So that's why peer interactivity should be one of the main way of teaching and collaboration and providing opportunities for sharing ideas and for experience exchange. The second one, lecture students' interactivity to give the push for the students to develop further their technological skills. Technological interactivity for ICT tools testing and evaluating, and what is more important, interactivity with the professional communities and translation markets. It can be organized through project studies and project research in order to give a chance for our students to have a look in real situation in the market and to be familiar with the real conditions, to be ready to face them or to deal with them after graduating from the university. And instead of conclusion, the teaching methods of the course designed to develop digital competences of pre-service translators should follow the principles of student-centered learning, providing opportunities for different types of interaction within the class and with the outside communities in order to facilitate social construction of the targeted knowledge. Thank you very much for watching this video and listening to this presentation. And I will be happy to get your feedback and your comments on the usage of internet technologies in the area of training translators, in the area of professional translation. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.